What is up, everybody? Paul here for another episode of the Paul James Show, and I'm back to take my throne. Thank you very much, Ben, for looking after the wheel last week when I essentially, as was kind of discussed in the chat, needed just a night to get my head out off the rat wheel, hamster wheel metaphors. I'm throwing them all around. I'm butchering every single one of them. In fact, butchering the opening of this show as well. But thank you all for all the support you showed Ben last week. I'm back to take over my show. We have no show notes. We are absolutely freewheeling it tonight, and it's going to be a great time. I've got some surprises in store for people that are absolutely not in our normal wheelhouse for the sort of things we do on the show. I'm looking forward to discussing the game, the Geelong and Port Adelaide game with you, going through your questions, discussing all of the things that you want to talk about off the back of the big Cats win, 76 points against the Power this Saturday. We're going to get into Q&A. We'll go around the grounds. We'll touch on all of the topics that you want to discuss. So thank you to those who are already popping in the chat so far. Mark, with your comment, great win by the Cats. Mark O'Connor's game was sensational. Shadu jumping in there as well. Get around it, Cats fans. It's TMNT time, Cowabunga. Look, I think I spoke about it when I appeared on Post Game Live the other day. I've got the shirt ready. If the reason ever emerges, then I'll wheel it out. But otherwise, you know the deal. We are waiting specifically for 50 paid patrons of the Hoops crew. I might just get a little status check and see where we're at going into the show tonight. We're on 38 fully paid up patrons of the Hoops crew. Thank you to each and every one of you who are doing that. That's some wonderful stuff that you're doing, supporting a massive dream of ours. And thank you all very much. But the 50 threshold is what it takes to get the Ninja, not just the shirt, but the Ninja Turtles pajamas. If there's something really big that comes along in the meantime, maybe that'll flush the shirt out, but it's going to have to be something big. So we'll see. Who knows? Maybe a premiership comes before 50 patrons, and in that case, the shirt might have to come out for that too. We'll find the right time, the right place, the right occasion. Jackie jumps in the chat before we really get started on everything tonight. Mullen, best tagger in the business. Kate, hi to you. Looking forward to chatting to you over the course of the show. Shadu jumping in there. You know, Jackie wasn't a career low for Butters. I don't think it was a career low, but because I think he still ended up with about 20 disposals. But it was certainly what I did see was a career low was the number of meters gained. It was like 100 meters or something. 102, I feel like, is the number I've heard. Really, really low number of meters gained over the course of the match, especially for as many disposals he still ultimately had. It was an incredible effort from O'Shea Mullen. We'll talk more about that shortly. But like I said, we'll go and dive deep into the Geelong and Port Adelaide game. We'll go around the grounds, talk about all the other matches from this weekend. We'll jump into some Q&A. We've got Game of the Week, and we've got a very special something that we'll do off the back of it all already. I'm looking at a box sitting over my shoulder. You can't see it in the shot. I might have to get myself organized when we throw to our Cyril Cook florist ad a little bit later on in the show. But it fits with the Game of the Week theme as well. So let's get into the show properly here and talk about this awesome 76-point win. Now, hopefully, each and every one of you had the opportunity to go check out my reaction video on... I'm not... Jackie, I'm not doxing myself again. We probably need to stop talking about it. People will scrape this shit and find it. Even though I deleted the stream, it's probably available somewhere. No, I haven't. Promise I won't be doxing myself again. But there is this very special something. When it comes to the video game realm, I don't make these mistakes. I've just let my guard down in a footy setting. I just completely forgot where I was. But anyway, hopefully people have already checked out the reaction video. It's been seen by close to 1,000 people already, and thank you to each and every one of you, especially if you're here in the chat tonight. Jackie's still enjoying things. Thank you to each and every one of you for checking out those videos. I made a bit of a joke on Post Game Live the other day that when we lose, the numbers drop a little bit, but the people tuning into the reaction videos, you're always there. You're always strong. You've always got your thoughts, regardless of whether it's win, lose, or draw. And I really appreciate all of you who come on and check out what we do there. So Let's dive a little bit deeper into this game, and I definitely want to kind of field your thoughts along the way because, as I said, I don't have Ben is kind of unavailable tonight, so I don't have the usual notes that he does such an incredible job of preparing pre-game. I'm going to kind of, and I'm mindful of not stepping too much back into the reaction video mold and kind of talk about the game in the same sort of structure that I would before. If you've got things you want to discuss, like, as Amy highlights, 6 kicks and 14 handballs for Butters, only 2 score involvements, and considering they only had 14 scores today, I guess it's not too bad proportionally. But anyway, if you've got those thoughts, those ideas around the Geelong and Port Adelaide game, I want to hear them. I want to discuss them with you, and we'll kind of fold them in more naturally as we make our way through this. But I guess where I want to start, and I perhaps didn't shine enough of a light on this individual when I was going through the reaction video in the first place, but he featured in my votes for the Hoopies at the end of the year, and we'll talk more about that later on. But is the one, and maybe it's a bit of nepotism here, a bit of love for within the Mark fraternity. But Mark shouting out Mark O'Connor's game, he was absolutely phenomenal, and thankfully the media and have jumped on the bandwagon. They've recognised. I think I've seen him selected in a few teams of the week so far. There's been a heap of plaudits thrown upon him in the game he played. 28 disposals, 23 of those were kicks. It was a PB when it comes to disposals. It was a PB when it comes to meters gained. It was a supremely good performance from Mark O'Connor this weekend. 11 marks to go with it. He was absolutely sensational. And considering the job that Oisin Mullen did on, as we mentioned before, the incredible Zach Butters, hopefully future cat Zach Butters. It was a bit of an Irish off. The two were trying, had a genuine argument, both of them, to be appointed the best player on the ground, and it's awesome to see that those young developing players are continuing. And I guess it's a bit harsh to call Mark O'Connor a developing player at this point. He's fairly well established. He's a premiership player, but he's still, I think, for a long time, he'll still be kind of learning the craft, and there's those natural instincts that you don't have when it's not your natural game. But he's continuing to develop. He's reading the ball so well. He's reading the game incredibly well. His skills have been really solid. I'm really, really happy with how he's performing. There's a lot of love in here, and Amy kind of gets the ball rolling there when we're talking about Bailey Smith. He's now outright second in the coaches' votes. Tristan Sherry is the one leading. I suppose he has had a fantastic season. I didn't quite recognise that he would be that high up the list. AFL coaches votes total 2025. We'll Google that one and we'll try and touch base with where that is at. Oh yeah, but yeah, as you say, outright second. In fact, the ruckman getting a little bit of love here. We might quickly shift our screen sharing over to this and get a bit of a status check there. Round 10, and obviously you can see the votes from the Geelong and Port Adelaide game. 9 to Bailey Smith, 8 to Jeremy Cameron, 4 to Mark O'Connor, 4 to Ollie Dempsey, 4 to Mark Blitzarves, and 1 to Brian Myers. But as Amy highlighted there, second overall, Bailey Smith, just behind Tristan Sherry and just in front of Max Gawn. The ruckman, as I said, are getting a lot of love, and I guess it's interesting. Like, Max Gawn has been playing some sensational football in the last month. Pretty much since we played him, he's really started to lift his game bit by bit by bit. Melbourne as a club, no surprise, are lifting alongside him. So he's making a real charge. I'd imagine he got the 10. Did he get the 10? Where are we? Yep, he got the 10 in the game against the Lions. He was, in my mind, absolutely best on ground. But, we can see in the list here, Paddy Dangerfield's there or thereabouts. Do we have any other cats featuring in the list? No. But it was an incredible performance from Bailey Smith as well. He's having a wonderful season. Of course, there's so much intrigue around him going into this week. A lot of conversations already starting to pop up about the rematch, of course, against the Dogs. Is Baz on genuine Brownlow watch? I mean, thanks for the question, Lockie. I think he kind of has to be at this point now. Bet responsibly, everyone. But I'm going to take a look at the Brownlow betting odds and see where he's kind of placed in the eyes of those who are kind of laying, I guess, some of their hard-earned down. And right now, he is outright second I'm not going to project this one. Again, bet responsibly, people. But Nick Dacos is currently the favourite. He's the $5 favourite. Bailey Smith, $5.50, immediately behind him. Jordan Dawson on $7. Matt Rowell, Zach Merritt, Lockie, both on $15. Like, there's a bit of a gap that's kind of formed already between Dacos, Smith, Dawson, another half step down, and then this army of players kind of that are $15 and up. So he's in a pretty good place when it comes to winning the Brownlow, in the eyes of punters anyway. And of course, with that hair, with the bandana, with all the buzz that follows him, there's plenty of reason to think that he'll be in this race up to his eyeballs. And I've kind of been referencing it a little bit in Postgame Live and the Paul James Show in recent weeks. But there's a little bit of Paddy Dangerfield in 2016 sort of air about what he's doing at the moment. He's arrived at the new club, high-profile recruit, and he's absolutely exploding. I've seen some dare to suggest that he's not the top recruit this season. I think that is ridiculous. And I don't think that's bias kicking in, because there's still things about Baz that I don't necessarily love from time to time. I'm kind of embracing the cheeky thing, the energy, the stupidity that kind of comes along with it. But there's little aspects of his game that I'm not loving yet. I think he's still kind of dumping the ball inside 50, a little more to slap the ball on the foot, and a little less precision to the game than I would like. But I think that's going to get there still. He's getting his hands on the ball so much, I can't help but complain, really. That's not the right way to say that. I can't complain, really. He's absolutely flying. Shadu says Baz is elite. Like you said, Brownlow watch. His second favourite right now. It's a long old season. As we said, there's a lot that can change, but right now, fantastic place for him to be in. More love for Mark O'Connor, not Connor O'Sullivan. I think we put a good audition in for Zach Butters. I'm sure performances like that help. The growing conversation around Zach Butters is that he will remain at Port Adelaide at least through 2026, the first year of Josh Carr's reign, and then we'll explore his options. We'll see what happens in that regard. Lucas asks, and I've seen some commentary there. I'm trying to catch up on the comments now. What do you think of roaming Lucas? Got no idea what day it is. Didn't get home till 2 a.m. Don't remember a thing at the karaoke bar. Mate, that's exactly how it should be when you get on the Terps like that. Go hard or go home. What I have also seen, Lucas, is the cameo that you made on the Blue Abroad fan cams. I believe you called yourself Hoops Crew Lucas, which I'm sure Terry's not at all upset now with the likes of me and the chaps and Ben off the back of you dubbing yourself in there and then trolling the shit out of him. It was low-key funny. It was a bit like Old Mate, who was doing that to us after we lost to the Blues. But I've forgotten his name now. What was his name? Someone in the comments, remind me. What was Old Mate's name was chirping a few weeks and then was suddenly there for the Married at First Sight thing that was going on between actually Lucas himself and Vince. Shout his name out in the comments. I've forgotten his name. Lucas, you're probably onto it. He's rent-free in your mind these days. Anyway, Shadu, gee, I can't dislike Connor Rosie. Has been immense for the Power. Yeah, look, it took him a little while. I think he's kind of really embraced the half-back role that he's had to play because he was struggling with the tag in the midfield. It's working really well for him. Bailey in a ruck sandwich sounds a little more gross than it's meant to be. But yeah, Kate says it. Actually, I didn't really respond to Luke's question. Had a great time with what you're up to, mate. We'll have to get you doing more of it in the future. We've got a whole bunch of ideas. I was even floating content ideas past Ben about 15 minutes before the show started for some more social media, more short form sort of content that we're hoping that people would like as well. Not just to appeal to the youth, but just some more bite-sized, easily consumed content. We've got ideas, but certainly, roaming Lucas and other content like it, got a great pop. We'll have to do more of it in the future. Thanks a lot for that, mate. Shadu says, thought you were brave approaching Port Adelaide fans post-game. Yeah, who knows? You could have come away without any teeth, and then you'd have just as many as the Port fans themselves. Hope Baz doesn't get a big injury. Yeah, that's a bit of a worry. Sorry, Shadu, there's been so many comments. What did Kane Corn say this morning? What's Kane Corn saying that I've also said? Kate saying we hope that Baz doesn't get suspended. Shadu, I'll just keep that pinned for now while I keep an eye on your comment. While I look out for a response to that comment. Jezelenko says Bailey is averaging 30, 10 contested, and over 600 meters gained per game. Only 2 players have done that. Gary Ablett Jr. in 2012 and Danger in 2016 when he won the Brownlow for us in his first year. There's parallels, people. I think, like I said, I think the thing that's probably missing at the moment for Bailey is more marks off the back of some of these kicks. But I think like he's getting the ball in there. Our forward line is so potent. I think it's really important. Half the battle is won. Oh, yeah, okay. So, sorry, thanks, Shadu, for clarifying. We're talking about the danger parallel. Where are we? Shadu asked, will he get suspended this week? Send him to the coin toss with Bont. Will we see a bird there? Look, I presume that we won't see him at the bounce, not for the piss-takey sort of reasons that we're getting at here, but I presume Tom Stewart is going to be back. It sounds like he was really, really close, and they just erred on the side of giving one more week. Maybe they just knew that Port were a bit of a wet lettuce leaf competition, and that apparently we just go to Adelaide and win. We just fly to South Australia and we just win. Doesn't matter who we're playing, whether it's Gather Round, whether it's either of the 2 local teams. Sometimes the local teams fall Gather Round. We just go there and win. So maybe they thought, let's give him another week. But it sounds like he's pretty much ready to go. I certainly remember there was some commentary of him kind of running laps at pretty high speed throughout the course of the week. So I'd imagine he is back this week for a matchup against the Dogs. We're going to need him, especially with Danger being out as well. Amy kind of reiterating what we said before, Bailey at 80% and 10 score involvement, so he's definitely improving his accuracy. I think it's really important. Obviously, score involvements, I'd love to kind of really get in the weeds with the data analysts, and work out how it is they measure that. Like, at what point are you no longer considered part of the chain that leads to a goal? That would be a really fascinating one to me. Hi, Jezelenko. Love to see you, mate. Jackie's convinced someone, cat or dog, is going to get reported this week. I don't know if there's as much spice to this as people want there to be. Of course, it's a really intriguing story. And I'm sure there'll be a few little jumper punches, and Bailey might get flattened and get a free kick at some point. Libba, I hope, actually does it. It'll be good spectacle. I think that'll be really awesome. But otherwise, I still think it's clear that Bailey dealt with some mental health stuff along the way. And if there's an ounce of respect, mutual respect from all parties, there won't be that much. There'll be some theatrics, a bit of fun. Bailey will absolutely have a bit of fun with it. But then I think we'll all just move on and try and play a game of football. So what have we got here? Aaron says Dacos can't win playing Saw. Smith is definitely leading after round 10. That's interesting, but yeah, not a bad point. Nick Dacos has been kind of a bit battered and bruised at different stages. Danders pops in. Ollie Dempsey robbed of a Rising Star nomination. I know he doesn't meet the criteria, but changed the criteria. Absolutely. That third quarter, that 10-minute burst in particular in the third quarter, was extraordinary. One of the best sequences of play, or multiple sequences of play from a wingman that I think we'll see for the entire season. Amy says, I actually didn't think Lucas was that bad on Blue Abroad. He wasn't rude. The host was rude, I thought. Look, Terry... I've got a lot of time for Terry. We get along quite well. I think I upset him a little bit during one of my nuffs of the week last year, and he was right in what he said. I kind of inappropriately called, it must have been Carlton players or someone. I think I called someone weak, and he didn't appreciate that. And in retrospect, he was 100% right in terms of like anyone who steps foot on an AFL field. You can't possibly label any of them weak. Maybe there's some that are more brave than others, but there's no one weak out there. And I got a little bit carried away in that one. He rightly called me out on it, but we get along really well. And, Pommy and many of the others that interact with. I always like kind of having a bit of a chat to them. I popped in there in the lead up, I think, to the Cats and Blues game, just in the comment section. Terry kind of interacted a bit there. I like him. He did seem to take a bit of offense to Lucas, who as Amy, you said, I don't think it was any different really to Scotty, as Shadu says, from the other week, kind of taking the piss a little bit and just having ribbing and a bit of mocking and those sort of things. I thought it was mostly harmless enough, but Terry didn't appreciate it too much. We'll see how that goes. What else we got here? Danger was hyping on the news earlier. Is he now? That'd be pretty cool. Let's see. clearly Cripps is leading the Brownlow. Of course, he'll have 45 votes at the end of the year, despite the fact that he plays only half of them or something like that. It'll be ridiculous. I overheard a stat that Nick Dacos has never had a contested mark. I believe that was true, at least I think going into the season. Don't know if that's still the case. Pinging Dan's comment, robbed of a Rising Star nomination because then it was, where are we? Frank's then kind of jumped on it. Dandis just wants the criteria changed so Ollie Dempsey can be nominated and win again this year. That's the point there, Frank. Going back to back. Yeah, we want the back to back. Ollie Dempsey's number one, Cat, that I'm paying to come see. He is an absolute rock star. How dare they? Lucas is a bloody icon. When was Lucas on Blue Abroad? On their fan cams episode immediately after the Carlton and Sydney game. I think Lucas, correct me, I think it was probably a good 2 hours in. I kind of just scrubbed through the entire thing until I found his mug pop up, and I was entertained. I won't lie, I was entertained. It should be World Turtle Awareness Week. Lucas, you didn't offend us. Scotty to Hottie. Didn't offend us at all. I was pretty well entertained, to be honest. Lucas is a C-grade celebrity across 2 channels. We should, Ben, if you're there, maybe I can quickly try and do it on my end. We probably need to create a poll. In fact, I've got a poll idea here. I'm looking for all of you to contribute to it. Give me 1 second as I jump into the video. Oh, see myself here. Let's get a poll going. Oh, I don't need the... How should Paul celebrate? Well, I didn't even know this was a poll going on. Ben, you're the worst. What did it say? How should Paul celebrate World Turtle Day on the 23rd of May? When is that? Oh, that's this week. Friday. Oh, we don't play Friday. It says TMNT costume, Leonardo eye mask, dedicated segment, change name, and show graphics. And we're ending that poll. And we're going to move on to... We're going to set a new poll. How do I do that again? Here we go. Start a poll. I'll leave you all to see it when it pops in a second. We'll let the internet decide on this one. Oh no, I can't go that high. Oh, I've only got 4 options. All right, we'll go with that anyway. Sorry, I have discarded the active poll, Shadu. I had no idea, but this show was derailed as fuck. We're going to drop the poll in here. Hopefully that works. There we go. The poll says, what tier of internet celebrity is Coach Lucas? A, B, C, or D? Drop your votes in there now. We've got 1 for C already. All right, let's move on with the show. We are a bit derailed. Let me bring back the match here. Honestly, I look at the results, and like the stats and all those, and there's really nothing we can complain about. The thing that I think I want to ensure that is kind of, I guess, acknowledged, discussed, considered when in all conversation about our Geelong and Port Adelaide game is the fact that they didn't really put up a fight. After about quarter time, maybe halfway through the second quarter, it was done. Even worse than I want to dox myself. That show lasted 2 minutes. It was Port Adelaide. They did not put up a fight whatsoever. And so I'm mindful of that when we discuss this. And I would say the same applies to... Now, the Dogs have been in great form beyond just this one game, but I would also say that when it comes to the Dogs and their win, it was 91 points or whatever it was against the Bombers, but it was against the Bombers. And Ben can say, oh, they'd won 5 out of 6 games, all you want. But I'll just clap back and say it was like Sydney, Carlton, Richmond, West Coast, North Melbourne. Like they were all bottom rung teams who'd been doing nothing all season. So, yeah, I make nothing of that. What's the poll saying? Currently, as things stand, 42% of you are saying that Lucas is a C-grade internet celebrity, 25% D, 8% B, 25% A. Steer that however you want, folks. So yeah, let's just keep that lens over the whole thing and just be mindful of the fact we don't want to get too carried away with a win like that. We've also bashed up on Port a few times in the last 12 months now. Not much to see here, I would say. That said, and Shadu, you have just taken me to the topic that I've been so eager to discuss because I feel really, really vindicated. I've been saying, you're all insulting the guy with a C. I've been saying all season long, when the concerns have been popping up around Shannon Neal, around Ollie Henry, no one's questioning Ollie Dempsey, and Tyson Stengel, I said danger was the problem there. And I don't mean a problem in the sense that he is a negative in the forward line, but he was a real stick in the mud for those who've got their established roles, who perform their certain gigs within the forward line and have really thrived up to that point. And the moment he went down and that forward line shifted back to its more traditional form, all of those players, Shadu's retiring danger, all of those players went back to the old model again. And it worked really, really well for you. Lindy, I've not seen you in the chat before. Apologies if you have, but thank you to Gary and Kiri. For giving my son a great time. Thank you. Well done. Thanks for the support. For my son, Lucas. It's awesome. Like everything just they just flicked back into the old mold and suddenly the cohesion was there. So it's good. Like, it's really good to see that the form is not a problem. They can toggle back into it. It's just been the nature of that forward line. Now, I think it then prompts the club to have a bit of a look. And, to Jackie's point of, which was obviously a joke about Shadu retiring danger, but I think there's going to need to be a bit of a reassessment as to how we utilize him. Do we play, like, he's obviously been playing quite deep forward. Do we maybe shift him to a half forward flank and so he plays somewhere in the middle between these two roles? Because that could be this nice hybrid which protects your Ollie Henrys, protects your Shannon Neals, it protects your Tyson Stengels. In fact, those three are probably your three deepest forwards when you look at the team sheet. It protects those guys a little bit and allows Danger to still get in there when he needs to kind of crash and pash and go with the momentum of crash and bash, go with the momentum of the ball, all of those kinds of things. I wonder if that's kind of a potential option here. Scaredy Cat, is that you, Ellie? Oh, Ellie. Yeah, Ellie here. I don't often get to listen to the show live, but I ask scratching post questions. Thanks for the entertainment. Not a problem. Hope that you were enjoying it, and I'll shout it out now. If there's anyone, Jackie drops crash and bash, I meant to say, not crash and pash. If there is anyone who's got topics on the mind that they want me to discuss, the scratching post is as casual of a show as possible. It is the phone stuck on the phone mount, and I am talking about in the car while I'm driving to work, 5 minutes talking about whatever topics it is that you want to discuss. It is open, like for the questions themselves, it is open to anyone who is a patron of the Hoops Crew. Doesn't matter whether you're paid or unpaid. If you're enjoying the free access, that is fine. Drop your thoughts in there. Those topics, I'll absolutely look to cover them. Just to be clear, though, the videos themselves, they are for our $5 and up patrons. But yeah, Ellie's one of those who contributes regularly. Absolutely love your thoughts and looking forward to doing it all again. And if there's anyone who wants to ask those questions, want me to discuss the topics that you've got burning in your mind about the Cats, drop them on the scratching post, the weekly scratching post on Patreon, and I will look to address them over the course of the week. 11 score involvements of Shannon Neal was fantastic. Shadu, encouraging Lindy to like and subscribe. Please do. Anyone, if you're watching for the first time tonight, please make sure to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Gives the namesake Jezza more space too, of course, as a forward line unit. That is awesome. Get Ollie in the goal square, make their key back accountable. You'd be terrified at the moment if you have to deal with Ollie Dempsey in the goal square. He is so smart. There are some amazing Facebook groups that just shit hate Port Adelaide, mostly Crow supporters. Yeah, the Crows fans have really gotten around us this week. And let's not forget, it was only a few weeks ago that we beat them too. But Glenn says, after watching again, I actually think it was not from Danger going down. I think it was from Lockie Jones going down, and it freed up Cameron, who was well held until then. If we're talking about Jeremy Cameron, yes. If you want to talk about Jeremy Cameron specifically, I would say that was really important for him. But Jeremy Cameron's not been my major concern. And I know Lucas had been before. Hang on. I just had some big gaming news just pop in my inbox. Ooh. Anyway. Handy little drop. But I think his absence was really important for Neil, Henry, Stengel, etc. They'll learn, they'll develop, it'll work. But I think maybe that mid spot of kind of the half forward flank might be the right spot. Aaron agrees, 75% middle, 25% forward for mine. Look, I feel like we can probably go close to 50-50, but I think it's maybe that half forward flank position is the sweet spot where he can impact around the center contest when he needs to, but he's there for the forward line action as well. Bussy jumps in the chat for the first time tonight. Pretty happy about Saturday's result. Every time I watch a game with the Misso, we lose. Curse broken. Fantastic. You love to see it. Spartacus says hi. Awesome to see you, mate, as always. Connor says, thought Asava looked poised to have a big impact early, but sadly faded away late. Much like his time with the Cats. Yeah, nothing changes. There's so many comments. I'm clicking on things that I shouldn't. All right, it's time to go around the grounds now before we get into Cyril Cook and then Q&A and everything else from the world of football. So let me project my screen once again and we'll look at the other games that were played this weekend. Boom, there it is. Of course, the round began with a Darwin matchup between the Gold Coast Suns and the Hawks, and the Suns do not lose when they go to Darwin, and they beat the Hawks once again. Not once again, but once again, another victory at that ground. The Blues kind of came back into the game late against the Swans, but ultimately lost, prompting Lucas to go and shit stir Blue Abroad and get himself kicked off and called a... What did he call you? What did Terry call you? Oh, it wasn't an insult I was overly familiar with. But anyway, Frank says, Suns flag. Do love what the Suns are doing. I've been telling you for years. The Crows just cannot beat the Pies at the MCG. Shadu says, give us the T-Paul. I can't remember the name. I cannot. Oh, sorry, you're talking about it might involve Silent Hill. Stay tuned. I believe it's going to pop very, very soon. The wet wipe. That's right. He called him a wet wipe. I loved it. I'm going to say once again, Terry, if you're watching this, we did not put Lucas up to this whatsoever. Not endorsed. I've also just been informed that apparently interest rates are going to be dropping tomorrow by a sizable chunk. That's really exciting because I'm hemorrhaging money. Not a wet wiper, as in a wet wipe, like the things you use to wipe babies' asses when they're first born, when they're shitting everywhere and they're just spraying and praying. But I'm a little bit of my heart's just going straight to, I don't normally talk finance and interest rates, but geez, I'm keen if the rates come down. Anyway. Other games, obviously, we've discussed the Cats smashing the Power to the tune of 76 points. Freo, the most flaky team in the competition, does it again. You cannot predict when they're up and when they're down at the moment. They're more down than up, but they're impossible to predict at the moment. 34-point win against the Giants, who honestly didn't look very good at home, but Freo performed well above the standard they've performed at all year. We've spoken a little bit about the Dogs bashing up on the Bombers. Flake Mantle. Frank, I wouldn't get too carried away about the loss last week. I just think they had a really bad one for the most part. How's the poll going? What's everyone saying about Coach Lucas? Do 39% of you call Coach Lucas an A-tier internet celebrity. 33% with C. Next best is D. 17% of you think he's a D-tier internet celebrity. And 11% of you say that Lucas is a B-tier internet celebrity. Build that profile, mate. Just keep building it up. All right, let's keep going before I get distracted any further. North, this was a fascinating game to watch. In fact, Sunday was just a fascinating weekend of football, really. North holding on against the Tigers. The Tigers came hard late, and they managed to hold on to a win. The D's stealing one against the Lions. The Lions have been looking a bit wobbly lately. We obviously can't go dropping the premiership hangover tag on them. It's way too late in the season for that to suddenly change. But it's a strange fit of form that they're in. The D's, though, are, they've got their tails up and they are charging right now. So how is Coach Lucas D tier? Because he's almost shown his D on camera a few times so far. That is why. And the Eagles bashing up on the Saints, 28 points. They get their first win of the season. Some wonderful words spoken by Oscar Allen after the game about, obviously, Adam Selwood and all that's gone on there. Really well done by him. Well done by so many members of the AFL community. Got a shout out, and I did it during post-game live, but got a shout out Fly, Craig McRae for the way he spoke. The way he spoke in their post-game as well. Absolutely tremendous the way everyone has respected the Selwood family this weekend. What is the chat having to say here? Please don't encourage my mum, the Crows fan, come to post-game live. Why do you hate me? Let's get them together. It'll be Lucas and mum, just like Scotty. Maybe we invite Scotty in and get the three of them on camera together, and myself or Ben, we just disappear for a bit. We let it go. I'll pop up like Dickie Knee, get the whip crack going. I don't think I have the whip crack audio on this one. No, I don't. But yeah, we can come prepared for that. Paul James, the wannabe tier internet celebrity. Lucas, Cameron has cooked. Go to the twos you go. Cameron, hold my beer, dickhead. Absolutely. There was a lot of intercapped messages I was sharing in the Discord and in post-game live, just highlighting that woeful call from Lucas that blew up in his face in the best possible way on the weekend. Our most recent comment here should do, Lucas, you must atone for your mum's sins of her being a Crow supporter. Yeah, that's awful. We don't condone that whatsoever. All right, there is one other game that we want to discuss from the weekend. It is the Cats VFL team. And unfortunately, they went down to Port Melbourne. There was a last minute, like the final 10 minutes of the game, the Cats really surged and nearly stole the game back once again, but they had led for the majority of it. And I'll screen share this one. They had led for the largest portion of the game and then kind of gave it away early in the final quarter there. What was it? 1, 2, 3, 4 consecutive goals. They got one back. They attacked and attacked and attacked. The wet conditions did not allow for clean play at the end there. A little bit of immaturity from a few players, and I don't mean in terms of indiscretions, but just lack of development, lack of game sense that kind of led to some poor decision-making and the Port Melbourne team hanging on at the end there. But they also had some real experience kind of come to the fore and help them out too. The likes of Dyson Heppel, for example, stepped up really when it counted at the end of the game. We peppered away and couldn't quite steal a win. That's it for games that we want to discuss this from this weekend. There is much more to come in this show for sure. There's plenty of your comments that I want to get to as well. But first, let's take a word from our sponsor.
The Hoops Crew Media Network is proudly sponsored by Cyril Cook Florist. Visit them at shop 1211 Leather Street in Breakwater. Phone them on 035 222 2244 or visit their website at www.cyrilcookflorist.com.au and use the offer code GOCATS in the voucher field at checkout to get 20% off your next online purchase.
Thank you, Cyril Cook Florist, as always, for your ongoing support of the Hoops Crew and all we get up to. Bent nails it. How good is Seinfeld? It seems like we're both watching it. Whenever we're not hosting a show, we're both watching Seinfeld at the moment with our respective partners. So Good times for all. Seinfeld is the GOAT. Ben, severely underrated. I don't want to end the Lucas poll just yet because I think there's a little bit more juice that we can squeeze out of this one. But chat, let me know. Ben, what tier of internet celebrity is Ben Reeve? Chat, do your thing. Now, it is time to get into some Q&A. We've got Game of the Week that we're going to fold into all of this. Lindy says, very proud Crow supporter. Love Patrick Dangerfield. That's nice to hear from a Crow supporter. Can't wait to get on your show with Lucas in a Crows jersey when he was... Oh, yes. Yes. Yes, we need to make this happen. The walls are closing in around you, Coach Lucas. Your mum is here. We've got, potential love interests and... Lindy, I'm just gonna spill what can Lucas do? Nothing right now. Lindy, are you aware that Lucas might have found love on this show? Not on the Paul James show, actually, on Post Game Live a few weeks ago. Chat, spill the tea on all of it. It was something extraordinary. Vince, Lucas, there's a budding romance going on here. It's something beautiful. And I can't wait to get an invite to their wedding. You heard it here. I want it. No, God, no. Yes. Baby pictures as well. Glenn speaks truth. There are 31 people watching and only 8 likes. Give it a thumbs up already. Please drop that little bit of love. We've got 110 people overall at the moment because we've got a large contingent of people also watching on. Yes. Yes. Please, Lindy, go and check out Post Game Live. Which week was it, everyone? He ice bucketed. It was after the Collingwood game. Post Game Live after the Collingwood game. Go back and check it out there. You'll just scrub through it. You'll find Lucas pop up. He might have found love with a girl from Tasmania. And to be fair, he's winning hearts and minds from with everyone else as well. I'm sure there's people weak at the knees every time they see him get his shirt off as well. So, you lot all dunk on me. I've got the platform. I can get you all back, Lucas. Whoever is touching my Lucas, hands off the Spuds property. All right, all right. We didn't... Well, she's from Tassie. I don't know if she's going to be a Tassie... No, she's a Cats supporter. So it's all right. Like, they've already got that thing in common. I don't even know how... Like, I wasn't even on that night. I couldn't make it on that night. And I started hearing all these comments about Married at First Sight and Married at First Post-Game Live and all sorts of stuff. And then I tuned in and started scrubbing through it, watching what was going on. It was something extraordinary. This was a Post-Game Live not to be missed. I won't say it's the best. I think I still will own that gong for some of the best Post-Game Live efforts that we've ever had. But geez, this one's going to be... It's top 5. All right, let's get in some Q&A. Throw your questions at me. Throw your topics, your ideas. Trav Bairnsdale, I'll be there on Thursday. Looking forward to having you at the game, Trav. Hopefully the Cats can get a win for you because I know any commute from Bairnsdale is not a small one. You're putting in a lot of effort to get over to the game. Hopefully the Cats can bank a win for us all. Ben says, release the baby photos. We'll save all of this for... now, this is someone I want to talk to. Hopefully the Cats can get a win for you. Here is someone I do want to talk to. Blaze17. Blake. He's a former student of mine from just last year. Now in his first year out from school. Doing some awesome stuff on YouTube. Blake, when we have Post-Game Live on Thursday night, I want to see you in there, mate. We'll make sure we get the StreamYard link out. I want you to click through and share your thoughts. Win, lose, or draw from what happens between the Cats and the Dogs. It'd be awesome to have you, mate. And it never ceases to be weird when I have students of mine popping up in the chat. We all want a lick of the Lucas ice cream. Jeez. Oof. Spill the tea, Blake. Blake, is Paul a strict teacher? You're going to love this answer. You're going to love this answer. I think he says he's going to get on. That's awesome. We'll make sure the link's there. I'll make sure that I try and pop in at the time that you're around as well, if I haven't already. But Blake, answer the question. Am I a strict teacher? I am the loosest unit in that place. I am swearing left, right, and center. I hope there's no one from the Department of Education watching or listening right now. I carry on like a pork chopping class and then get the best results in the region. So I'm humble. I'm real humble about it. Best pre-game feed in Geelong, leaving home at midday from Wodonga. I unless there was a comment that came beforehand, I reckon that's Aaron making a request here. Someone provide a recommendation. The best pre-game feed. It's a good teacher, shit student situation. Thanks, mate. You sell yourself short. You're just too busy preparing your next bit of content. I had no idea you were working at all on the back burner. But yes, provide Aaron your best pre-game feed recommendations. Of course, Shannon Pizza is something you have to consider. What we'll do, I'm going to start preparing and we'll check the poll here. 40% have Lucas as an A-tier internet celebrity, C with 30%, D with 20%, and 10% of you say he's a B-tier celebrity. Shannon Pizza, as Shadu says, the top recommendation, of course, it is the Hoops Crew's #1 recommendation for meals whenever you go into Geelong. I don't care if you're a Geelong local, get Shannon Pizza every night of the week. Ben, are they open every night of the week? Kate, I teach maths, specifically general maths is my main thing. So that's the mainstream maths option at mostly at year 10, 11, and 12. That is my kind of #1 lane. And as I said, with a layer of humility here, I get the best results in the region. I obliterate other teachers and schools, and I'm having a great time doing it. All right. Brunezzo's Italian is pretty good, I'm told. That's an awesome backup option. But of course, Shannon Pizza first, everybody. I'm going to start preparing game of the week here because it's going to be a hell of a time. I want to make sure I've got everything locked and loaded here. We'll get this one out of the way now because then we'll turn to that little surprise that I was referencing that I had. And I'll get that all organized while the trailer plays. So this week, our game of the week is a game that launched last week. It is called Doom: The Dark Ages. I'm sure you don't have to be a gamer to be aware of Doom. It is one of the absolute classic franchises, the leader of first-person shooters for the longest time. Probably one of the main reasons why there's various ratings boards for video games applied around the world. Absolutely gory, horrifically violent. Please, if you've got kids here, Bussy, put your kids to bed, damn it. Brendan, if Bianca and Declan are here, hide them now. This is going to be incredibly violent. But everyone knows Doom. We're going to cut across to a trailer for that in a moment. Now.
The makers are still not responding. Defenses about to be breached.
Targets identified. Weaponry deployed.
Impact confirmed. The Slayer has been activated.
That is Doom Eternal. And Spartacus absolutely nails Ken Hinkley to the wall with that comment that I made sure to pin while the trailer was on. It's just a picture of the Port Adelaide Footy Club, really. Poor Ken. Any bets on how long he will last? That's Josh Carr belting the living suitcase out of Ken and Port Adelaide's premiership chances. Club statement tomorrow. Nothing more certain. That's a really fascinating one. Doom, the West Coast story. I'm real keen. And Kiri, obviously, awesome to have you on board, mate. You and Lucas did God's work during postgame live the other night. Now, what I wanted to get to, and I referenced that I had something. It's not really an AFL content thing, but I went. My friends at now. I'm already well aware that there is an address on this, but it is not my address. It is just a retail store. So please, direct your comments, concerns, and doxing towards EB Games Sunbury in Sunbury Square. But thanks to Bethesda, there's a pretty awesome collector's edition for this thing, and I thought I may as well save it. Doom's really cool. I know, as Jackie's kind of highlighted. Even Jackie knows Doom. Thought, why not crack open the collector's edition here live in the stream? Because I don't need to do it for my gaming content. Don't worry about it. Lots of people have already done it. There's Doom the Dark Ages. As it turns out, 80 megabytes of game on it, and everything else you've got to go download it. Well done, Bethesda. I'm throwing it around because I'm already playing the game, by the way. I got sent a code. Also, massive thank you to Bethesda. We're getting rid of all this shit because really what we want here is this bad boy. Look at it. What do the French say? Magnifique? I don't know. It's probably not even a French word. Anyway, we've got Doom the Dark Ages. And this bad boy in the middle. It's been a long time since I've added anything to the shelf. But there's a bit of Doom right here. We've got the Doom Slayer's helmet. This will go nicely alongside the Doom Slayer's. In fact, we've also got the BFG here as well. Big fucking gun. I can't remember how it works, but anyway. I'll fix that one up later. Let's crack this one open though. Let's get our Doom Slayer out. There's a steel book. I do love a steel book. Doom the Dark Ages. It's mighty cold because it's been sitting in this shed for a few days waiting for this. Everything's falling apart. Lucas being overshadowed by Mumkus. Do I have other things in here? Oh, we got his little mace. If my kids are out of line, I would never do that, people. It's a joke. That's a chain. Like, there's a solid chain to it. Oh, that's his little cape. Lucas is not enjoying this, has to be said. Go watch Blue Abroad, mate. But we got our Doomslayer. We got our Doomslayer. His shield is huge. It's awesome. I don't know where I'm quite meant to attach the mace. I'm sure there's like some fixture on the back of it that I'm not yet seeing. It's straight up, yeah. It's straight up figurine territory. The arm comes off and you can. Oh, this doesn't feel good when it's icy cold. Don't put things in when it's cold, people. It hurts. I'll leave that alone. There's your Doomslayer. He's got his little fur, his little shag cape that I can put on. I won't worry about that now. I've got to find a spot on the shelf for this bad boy. So by the time we do another stream, we'll have our Doomslayer. Lucas, if you need some sort of prop in the future, it's stuck in there good. But we'll get the Doomslayer's helmet out next time. If you want to really embrace the Dark Lord sort of energy, I know it's totally different franchise, but if you need to embrace the Dark Lord energy, we'll get the Doomslayer's helmet, we'll pop it on, and then you can talk your way through. There we go. We got that's what she said. That's what we were looking for when I made that comment. Thank you very much, Jezelenko, for that one. There's a bit of cleanup I've got to do afterwards too. All right. Amy, thank you. I think it will look good on the shelf. I don't know where I'm going to put it. That's a good problem to have, but yeah, I don't know where it's going to go. Everyone send their love to Lindy. She's heading off. She's broken her son tonight, as we all have. Thank you everyone for being nice. I better go. That's awesome. That Doom Monster. Wow. Bye for now. Good night, Lucas. It's been awesome to have you, Lindy. Thank you very much. Lucas, we're just shit stirring and having a bit of fun here, mate. But we'll definitely have to make post-game life a family affair sometime in the future. Have a bit of fun, have a few good laughs, and whip out some baby photos while we're at it. What else does the community want to chat about tonight? I won't be sending love. This is a goddamn conspiracy. Good value. Really, really good value. But I mean, Lindy's just gone and shared the sentiment to Amy. Have a great week, Lindy. Looking forward to chatting nice and soon. All right. What's on the agenda for everyone tonight? Because I won't shy from the fact that it is bitterly cold in here. And my wife has just gotten home from having done some photo shoots for about the last 4 hours. And I'd very much like to go in and see her sometime soon and get out of this cold. But I want to answer your questions, have a bit of fun with the community. It is always a good time on the Paul James Show live, as it is for post-game live. So what do you want to talk about? What ideas have you got? I'll again shout out, please, if you're a Hoops Crew patron, and that is the paid tier, but also the free tier as well. The scratching post topics posting is there on the Patreon. And I would love for any of you who are in the chat tonight that are either a paid or free patron to jump on that post, share your ideas, give me a topic to discuss. They are like 5-minute bite-sized things where I'll discuss whatever your topic is from my phone while I'm driving to work. And right now, I posted it last night. I'm waiting for the first couple topics to pop in there from people. So once you've got something there, the content will start to be created. In the meantime, though, we'll continue on with this. Do you, the community, have any topics we want to discuss, either regarding the upcoming game between the Cats and the Dogs, between the Cats and the Power, other subjects in the game? Of course, I referenced a little bit before, but a massive shout out to the Selwood family, who are enduring a really, really awful time right now. Sending all of our love from the Hoops Crew community, and I think which then represents the entire Geelong and broader AFL community. It's such an awful time that they're going through right now. So sending all of our love to them. Thank you to all of you who donated money on Postgame Live the other night. I know Ben has, I'm not 100% clear. I kind of missed the beginning of it, but I just saw all this money coming in. I know something was kind of going on. Ben's working with that, and he'll take care of that. Maybe he can clarify in the chat what's going on there. But thank you to all of you. That it was incredibly generous what you all did on Thursday night, and look forward to doing some good with that money. What have we got? We need a Lindy chat on Postgame Live. Can't wait for the game this Thursday. Shadu says, I wonder who goes on Dale and Libba. So the Bailey Dale one is interesting. 49 disposals, more than 1,000 meters gained. Statistically, an enormous game. But the Bombers didn't do anything to stop him, and they didn't really have anyone on him who forced him to be accountable. There was no threat for Bailey Dale to worry about. I don't think that exists, though, with the Cats. We're talking about Ollie Henry. We're talking about Tyson Stengel. We're talking about Brian Myers, Brad Close. There's just this army of mid to small forwards who are going to be incredibly dangerous and massive threats for someone like Bailey Dale. He is going to have to be way more accountable. He's going to have to be way more accountable than what he was last week. And so I'm not concerned about him getting 49. He'll probably get 20s. He might even push 30. But yeah. Jackie says, I just noticed your avatar on the screen. It looks like Jimmy Carr. You can credit Ben for that one. Ben made that one. I've also seen someone, when I was putting the video together recently, compare me to Andrew Gaff. But I don't know. Go figure. Who do you think will win on Thursday night? I will save it for the Wednesday preview edition of the Paul James Show. We are going to fit one in before the match. I was, a bit concerned for a while there. My basketball fixture has been very much floating for the first few weeks, but it turns out I have a 9:30 game on Thursday night. So we'll look to get the Paul James Show going at 7:30, 8 o'clock thereabouts. Get going nice and quickly. Be done by 9-ish. I'll get in my basketball gear and get going to basketball. So you will get a Paul James Show previewing the Cats and the Dogs on Wednesday night, ahead of post-game live on the Thursday, my reaction video on the Friday, and then the Paul James Show again on the Monday. We've got to work out content-wise what we're going to do for Saturday, Sunday. We've got to keep giving you all lots of awesome content, because I feel compelled at this point. I really enjoy doing it. And you all seem to be really enjoying it. So we've got to we'll work it out. We'll work out what we're going to do there. Question about the Western Bulldogs. Are we confident without Dangerfield and Bowes? Danger's the bigger concern for me. I love Jack Bowes. He does some awesome things. I think he's a huge asset to the team. But I think we can deal without Jack Bowes, especially when Tom Stewart will come in. But the Dangerfield one is an interesting one. I think the answer is yes, because I think we saw how much the forward line clicked back into gear with Danger out. So I think we'll be okay. Spartacus also says Bailey Smith is going to have some sort of reunion with his former teammates. Yeah, there'll be some niggle, but and some theatrics, but I don't think it'll be too bad. Someone will flatten him. You'll get a free kick at one point. That'll be about the extent of it. Lucas says, I've been humbled, humiliated, and this is one of the worst nights ever. I need help. I really hope you're joking. It was awesome having your mum on board. You didn't dox yourself. Reckon we'll see Danger before the bye. I reckon they'll give him a good long rest. Look, I don't think this is a major hamstring, but we discussed this, and please, I guess I'm going to shout this out again. I've got my own platform now to do this. If you haven't already, and I kind of flagged that numbers have been a little bit funny so far, I would highly encourage people to jump over, once the show finishes tonight, jump over and check out my video that I posted on Saturday morning before the Geelong and Port Adelaide game. It's about the fixture, the Geelong round 16 to 23 fixture. And I kind of share my thoughts as to where the Cats are going to get their wins, what losses there might potentially be, and what it's going to look like for a run towards finals from this point onwards. That video is live. It's got Danger. Ben might have jinxed it, actually, because he put Danger on the thumbnail, and now he's out for, well, probably right up until round 16. But the fixtures there, I'd love for people to go check out that video. Ben with the question, who chairs off Mitch Duncan? Of course, assuming Mitch Duncan plays. Spartacus, Jimmy Carr jokes in class. I couldn't get away with that, but geez, I dropped a lot of Collingwood jokes this afternoon. What's the difference between the AIA Centre and the Collingwood? Oh, no. What is the difference between a cactus and the AIA Centre? A cactus has pricks on the outside. But as for who chairs off Duncan, I've heard talk that maybe Reece Stanley's going to be right from his hamstring. If that's the case, I think he would be one, which then probably means you got like Shannon Neal or someone like that alongside him. Could be some of our defensive units. Tom Stewart, I think, would be one. That Tom Stewart would make sense. Jed Buse, potentially the other, as another long-standing cat who's been with him over many years. I could see Jed Buse and Tom Stewart perhaps being part of the chair-off group. Explains his results as long as he's not teaching tax. Jimmy Carr people will get it. How good will it be if Baz gets a goal early in the game? GMHBA will be the loudest it's ever been. I think, that place, if it had a roof, it would pop off if Bailey Smith gets a goal really early in the game. And I think it's a huge moment for the momentum in the game as well. Oh, this is a fascinating one. Top 5 biggest clubs in your opinion from a fine, and also thanks for coming on board, JL, a West Coast supporter. Always good to hear the thoughts of non-Geelong supporting folks. The top 5 biggest clubs in your opinion. So obviously on the member front, it's a bit more clear cut, right? Because we have membership figures to work with. And, like if I check it, AFL that's not AFL member. Membership totals, and I'll just bring up 2024 because at least it's kind of, end capped, I suppose. So when that pops up, Collingwood. So I guess if we want to talk memberships, and I'm going to try and address these kind of one point at a time. So the membership one, Collingwood, Carlton, West Coast, Richmond are the top 5 biggest clubs in the competition for memberships. Geelong is 6th. That is insane. Ahead of Hawthorn, ahead of Essendon, ahead of Adelaide. Enormous. And that was a club record that year as well. 90,000. But beyond that, we then talk about supporter base as well. I mean, I think that's pretty well similar, I would imagine, to what we're seeing here. From a financial point, obviously your club, the West Coast Eagles, despite the fact they've been languishing near the bottom, I think a lot of this is going to be pretty dominated by, West Coast, Freo, Adelaide, Port Adelaide, in a lot of ways, are going to be some of the wealthiest because they're 2-team towns. They are AFL states. There's less of the pie to divide. Home games, of course, become very profitable affairs for you. They would be right up there. Of course, Collingwood would be up there. Carlton, despite the fact that they obviously have been a bit of a loser club for a long time, will be up there. Richmond will be up there, still riding the coattails of the 17, 19 and 20 premierships. Hawthorn always does very well. Essendon will be doing well off in that regard as well. But yeah, I think actually a lot of the interstate teams, like your own, will be leading the charge there. West Coast has been long considered the wealthiest club in the competition. You have entered the world of oblivion now. You're in the gun. Oh, no. Hope we get a big crowd there on Thursday, says Jezelenko. Hopefully pack the joint out, and then as we said, get really loud when Bailey Smith puts a goal through early on in the piece. So Ben hasn't been kind of 100% one-to-one in step with everything that's been going on tonight, but he's just clarified exactly what's going to happen with those donations from the other night. We'll clarify that one because I wasn't 100% sure before. Ben is one-to-one matching the donation, so the $127 that was donated, that is going to Lifeline. So thank you all for that. Ben is going to take care of that one. Of course, that's a wonderful act. If there was we'll work it out as a bit of team as to how we can kind of get all of that sorted out. But Lifeline is where those funds are going to. So as Shadu says, great job, Ben Reeve, doing God's work. And again, rest in peace, Adam Selwood. $127, as Jackie says. Collingwood memberships don't count. You get one if you were out of jail consistently for 2 months. I didn't notice it before. Ben with the ha-ha from Jimmy Carr. It's a great laugh he's got. All right, how about it? Do we have any other points of conversation, or are you all going to let me go in and see my wife? Amy shouts out, hey, Ben, may I offer a suggestion for the donations? That'll be something, please make sure to drop that. Thoughts on keeping the father-son rule? I'm okay with father-son. I'm okay with academies. I just think, I Oh, sorry. Thanks, you do. I'm joking. I'll stick around for a little bit longer, and I'll see my wife shortly. She's probably getting herself sorted, eating her dinner, and those sorts of things. So, she'll need a bit of unwind time before I come storming into the house with a full head of oxygen and stupid energy. Oh yes, Amy does. You're right. Adam Selwood had a charity he was supposed to be running for next week. That is a great suggestion. Stay humble, hey. I'm okay with this channel being deleted. Where are we? Yeah, I think that's a really great point, Amy, about the Selwood donation. But the link, you're right. The link hasn't come through, but maybe DM it to Ben. Maybe suggest to Ben, if you shoot him a DM, the Hoops Crew account or Ben's own personal one, that might be a good place to pass that one on. Because I think that's a really great idea. Really, really, just a fantastic idea. It's been a rough time for the AFL community. All right, I'll take one more question. First in, best dressed. Let me know what that question is, and we'll get into, well, we'll wrap the show up from there. So if you've got another topic of conversation, throw it at me, and we'll wrap things up. Lucas asks, good. I'm glad that you've, firstly, he decided he doesn't want to sink the Hoops Crew after all, and wants to ask about Oblivion. We just got to turn it into a video game channel, one-to-one video game channel for him. Have I been playing Oblivion Remastered? No, I haven't. So I've been playing, we mentioned obviously, Big Boy. We've been playing Doom, The Dark Ages. I've been playing Clair Obscura Expedition 33. I'm getting ready for the Switch 2. What I would recommend also, people, if you're looking for a gift for loved ones, the Switch 2 comes out on June the 5th. And I know for some, $700 up front, plus whatever you do game-wise afterwards, is a fairly hefty expense. I had my console pre-ordered at EB Games. I cancelled my pre-order at EB Games, and I pre-ordered it through Telstra. Over 24 months, it is going to cost me $29 a month. There is zero interest. It's like $29.12 or something like that. But there is no interest. On the dot will pay off the Switch 2. So if you are looking to get your hands on the latest Nintendo console, or any other console for that matter, because they do apply this deal for other consoles as well, you can pre-order it through Telstra, $29 a month over 24 months, or like $58 every month for 12. And that can be a way to get it. You can play Mario Kart with all those loved ones. You got kids, might be a really good way to get them the console as well without breaking the bank, at least in one hit. But no, Oblivion's on the to-do list. It's just kind of a few places back on the to-do list at the moment. Clair Obscura is there at the top. Then I've got to get back to Monster Hunter Wilds. Monster Hunter Wilds was my most anticipated game of the year, and it's just kind of slipped because of all the other stuff that's been coming out and reviews I've been working on and all those sorts of things. But really, really keen on it. Lucas also asks, will the Switch 2 release own games or just call it Switch games? No, they will be Switch 2 games specifically. Like Mario Kart is a Switch 2 game. You cannot play it on the original Nintendo Switch. This is a proper generational jump. There'll be games that'll, like old Switch games, for example. The one that I think of because I played it at the preview event last week was Kirby and the Forgotten Land, which was a Switch game that came out maybe 3 years ago. They're adding some DLC to it, and along with a whole bunch of technical and visual upgrades. That's going to come to the Switch 2 and it's not a free upgrade. I think it's like a $20 upgrade, and you get the Switch 2 version of the game plus the additional content. So there's some good stuff going on. Plus, new games dedicated to it. I guess I'll highlight there's Mario Kart World that comes out June 5th. Donkey Kong Bonanza comes out July 12th. And if anyone's been, if you like me, you've been waiting on a Donkey Kong 3D platformer since Donkey Kong 64. So there's that. And that was 25 years ago. There's Metroid Prime 4. There's a Pokemon game coming out at the end of the year. These are all exclusive to the Switch 2. So actually, no, sorry, Metroid I don't think is. I think it's coming to both. But plenty for people to sink their teeth into. Amy also says, we'll send the message to Ben, gone from $21K before his death to almost $49,000. That's huge. Ben, I think, has missed some of the context here. Bring back telecom. But Ben, expect a DM there from Amy with that recommendation. I think that's actually a really great idea. Not that we want to dismiss Lifeline, but I actually think this is I think this is a great idea. Spartacus says Jason Dunstall's playing Donkey Kong, I heard. Where's Michelangelo hiding, Paul? I can't see him on the shelf behind you. But I was just sitting here, not really thinking too much, and I was twirling his little thing. Turns out that's a wire in there. If I can get it to focus. But it just snapped. So he's already a bit busted. Anyway, remember Kirby Golf? Kirby Golf? I don't remember Kirby Golf. It's pretty cool. All right. On that note, we've spoken about Ninja Turtles. We've spoken about video games. We've somewhere along the way spoken a little bit about football. We've got Lucas's mum involved. We've done unboxings. We've done everything tonight. We've hardly spoken about the Geelong game. I'd love it no other way. We've run a poll about Lucas, and let's highlight the final results. Nunchucks, thank you. Thank you, Jackie. I'm having a rough night tonight. We need a mailbag address. Why? I've just basically shared my address to everyone, in like a week or so ago. They were Nunchucks, yeah. I basically just shared my details with everyone recently by mistake anyway. Just dig up the old stream. Please don't. Let's quickly, go back to the poll one final time. 44% of you deem Coach Lucas to be an A-tier celebrity. 28% of you consider him a C-tier celebrity, D-tier with 20% of the vote, and 8% of you believe that Coach Lucas is a B-tier celebrity. So nearly half of you think Coach Lucas is an A-tier celebrity, internet celebrity, sorry, and long live Coach Lucas. All right, let's get out of here. The people have spoken. The GOAT. Looking forward to Coach Lucas doing it all again post-game live on Thursday night. And looking forward to chatting to all of you as well, including Lucas's mum. It's going to be a time. I'll be heading to the Sky City karaoke bar and get bloated. 44% of the audience are mad. I've seen mushrooms with bigger brains that kick the ball. And Jezelenko, thank you for your support. All right, Kiri, I'll see you there, big fella. Got to drink those sorrows. And I can't remember where you posted it, Kiri, but I think it might have been the Discord. We absolutely, myself, Ben, the chaps, we need to get over to South Australia next year. Without doubt. We've got to find a way to make it happen. But that's where we'll wrap things up for now. As I alluded to before, the Paul James Show will be back on Wednesday. This is our preview episode for the Geelong and Western Bulldogs matchup, which will then be the following day. In the meantime, though, Ben will have to fit the tips in somewhere. That's going to be a really tricky one at this point because it's a very limited time before the round begins. But stay tuned for Ben's footy tips. Just the tip, everybody. There we go. Posted it on Twitter. Go check out Coach Lucas on Twitter to find some of the karaoke. The tips on Wednesday. Paul James Show Wednesday night. Sorry, Ben, I've just added you for Wednesday, but it feels like it makes sense. Paul James Show Wednesday night, post-game live Thursday. Of course, our coverage of the Geelong and Port Adelaide game is not over either. Make sure to check out the chaps do their thing tomorrow. 6 p.m. is the usual time. Go check out what they're posting there. I think I've got the time wrong still. I'm not very good at this. I don't have the details handy. Ben's not giving me a run sheet tonight, and I'm floundering. I'm not, Ben. It's been fine. No pressure at all. I just don't know our show times. I don't know our content pipeline. Check out the chaps. Check out the Paul James Show Wednesday. Check out Post Game Live Thursday. It's going to be a great time. Thank you, everyone, for having tuned in. As always, And until next time, remain Geelong strong. I'll see you later. Love you, Coach Lucas.